Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. This is Ed again with Call Me Mr. Broadstreet. So just wanted to kind of provide a year-end recap, as it were. So just thank you to everybody. I hope everybody's going to have a safe and happy New Year. So just some personal highlights, some channel highlights real quick, and maybe a little bit of a wish list for the next couple years. I'll get to that in a second. This won't be a long video, but some of my personal highlights have definitely been starting this channel in July. I wanted to take those glasses off. They're more for distance, and I figured that it would look better, but I want to avoid some glare too. So anyways, getting to to a little bit of the points I wanted to make tonight. Yeah, some personal highlights, of course, starting this channel in July. Thank you so much for all the subscribers out there. I'm going to name some folks in a moment, kind of some shout outs. First of all, I just want to say thank you to the Two Legs podcast. You guys have brought me a lot of subscribers and a big inspiration with Tom Hunyadi and Andy Nichols. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. Really great podcast. I got to actually be featured on one of their shows back in October of this year, so it was definitely a highlight. Also, another podcast I got to be featured on is the Paul or Nothing podcast, segment called Macca in Your Attic, which I think will be airing within the new year at some point with Sam Wiles. Sam, fun show, definite shout out to you. Had a lot of fun kind of letting my hair down, as it were, when that video does drop. That was this past month on that upcoming episode to be aired later. I just wanted to also shout out to some other podcasters I've been following for a little bit. Please check them out. Some really great feedback and encouragement from folks. The folks over at Talk More Talk, Joe Mayo, Kit O'Toole, Ken Michaels, all very knowledgeable about Paul, solo Beatles, Beatles-related material. Just wanted to shout out to a couple of subscribers real quick, specifically that left some comments recently. Thank you so much, and I've left comments throughout the channel. Hudson Rainey, thank you. It's good to have definitely a younger fan's perspective. Please feel free to leave more comments. I appreciate it. The user From Me to You, thank you for some of your comment and feedback on my videos. Matthew Turnage, Matthew, thank you so much as well. Really appreciate the comments. And please feel free to keep leaving comments, feedback on any of my videos, whether it's a new video, old video. I do the best I can to respond as soon as I possibly can. I just want to shout out to a couple of local fans here, to Deb, to Olivia, and to Eric. Thank you so much for being subscribers. Finally, to my family, to Peg, my stepmom. You're amazing, you're strong, you're wonderful. My dad, I love you, and thanks for letting me borrow, as in confiscate, some of the older Beatles memorabilia. I'll get to that later at a certain point. My stepdad, Gil, I've just wanted to give you a shout out, the musician in the family, one of the smartest people I know. And my mom, I love you. You continue to be a strength and an inspiration to me, and you continue to just teach me much more than you know, even now at this point in our lives. So I love you, Mom. Keep being strong. We all love you. So a couple just major releases for this year to kind of recap real quick. Of course, the Beatles released the Get Back documentary. I did a very in-depth, spoiler-heavy review on that for folks that do go back and check that out. Let It Be box set and the Get Back book, which I am going to do a review for. For the Get Back book, again, shout out to Gil. Thank you so much for getting me that book. I will do a review in the new year, hopefully very shortly, with that. Ringo released his Change the World EP in September, and of course back in March released the Zoom EP as well. I've got the Zoom EP. I haven't gotten around to the Change the World EP. I will get to review those at some point in the future. George, we got the All Things Must Pass 50th box set in August. Really the only thing I have that I downloaded is there's a track, What Is Life? There's an outtake of it. It's Day 1 demo, take 3. That's now my go-to version of the song. I got to hear that actually on the Beatles channel from Sirius XM when they were doing their free preview earlier this month, as I'm taping and releasing this video today, New Year's Eve. This next year might be finally the year that I actually do subscribe to Sirius Radio just to have the Beatles channel. I really enjoyed listening to it. So if it weren't for them, I would not have heard that version, which is now my go-to version. I think the original tends to get overplayed quite a bit with too much spectrization, my view. I really like this more stripped down take on What Is Life. Seek it out. Again, it's the day one demo, take 3. Highly recommended. From the McCartney camp, from Paul solo, we got McCartney 3 Imagined. April 2021 was the digital release, and physical release followed in July. I have both of those. I'll review those at some point, kind of a companion piece to the McCartney 3 album from September of 2020. John Lennon, we got the Plastic Ono box set released back in March of this year. I don't have that yet. I do plan to pick that up at some point and hopefully give a review as well. I do have the Imagine box set that was released, I think, a year or two ago, maybe a little longer than that I have to get to and review in a future review. So real quick, just kind of a wish list of some releases I'd love to see between 2022 to 2027. I think this would be a good 5-year plan to follow for all camps. Just my view, my opinion. If somebody official is watching this, please take it into consideration. Us hardcore fans will buy this stuff. Trust me, we will. So for Paul, supposedly there are McCartney archive releases of both London Town from 1978 and Back to the Egg from 1979 in the pipeline somewhere. Don't know when those will be released. As yet unreleased as of right now. I think for me personally, I would next love to see, give my regards to Broad Street, an archive album set from 1984, and also Press to Play from 1986 as an archive set as well, kind of putting those together as 2 releases to complete the 80s. I think along with Off the Ground from 1993, I think that would really complete the set, along with the aforementioned London Town and Back to the Egg, bringing the entire series from 1970 all the way up to 1997 with Flaming Pie, which has been released. Also, I just think a Blu-ray re-release of the McCartney Years music video DVD collection from 2007 with updated videos included would be a wonderful release to have. Finally, I think for Paul, hopefully at least one more studio album. I think that's where he really should put his energy now at this point in his career. And finally, just gather any odd singles or B-sides onto streaming and available to download on platforms such as Apple or Amazon or whatever it might be. Specifically, I'm looking at you, Spies Like Us. I'd love to have that to be able to digitally listen to as well. That would be fantastic. Just my little wish list. John, from the John Lennon camp, besides the rumored sometime in New York City box set for this next year, 2022, I just think the following would be great over this 2022 to 2027 time period. Give us a Double Fantasy box set from 1980, much like the other box sets. Give us the Milk and Honey posthumous box set from 1984. That was during the Double Fantasy Milk and Honey sessions. I think those 2 back-to-back would be really great. Walls and Bridges from 1974 would be very high on my list. Round it out with Mind Games from 1973 as well. I think that'd be good to have as a box set. Give us all of that. Re-release the John Lennon anthology that was released on CD in 1998, but put it onto streaming and download platforms, just like I mentioned with the McCartney tracks. And again, just the same thing, finally, any odd singles and B-sides onto streaming and download. Move Over Miss L. That's one that seems to be missing. Great little B-side track from 1974. Just saying. George, again, individual albums on an archive release schedule, similar to the McCartney camp, just kind of box sets of each album would be very nice with extra material. I think re-release the George Harrison The Dark Horse Years, 1976 to 1992. It was previously released on DVD as separately, apart from the George Harrison box set for the Dark Horse Years from 76 to 92. Put that DVD onto Blu-ray, clean it up, get some previously left off videos that were not included in that previous release, put them on here. Simple enough to do. I think the fans would buy it. Ringo, hopefully at least one more studio EP or album. That's where I think Ringo should put his energy into. Re-release Photograph, the very best of Ringo Starr in an expanded edition. Instead of just 2 CDs, have 3 CDs and a Blu-ray carrying over all the previous videos and add any videos. Ones like Weight of the World, Drowning in the Sea of Love, Rack My Brain, and maybe some others. Finally, for the Beatles, just re-release all albums from 1963 through 1966 in the same format as the Sgt. Pepper through Let It Be box sets. Also re-release the anthology documentary onto Blu-ray. And finally, just include any other footage from the Threedles 1994 and 1995 sessions with Paul, George, and Ringo. Keep those bonuses, add more if you can. That's about it, so I just hope everybody, again, I'm wishing you a safe and happy New Year. I'll see you next year. Please give a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Catch everybody soon. Happy New Year. Bye.